Watch what you bet, Teddy. Finally, as we said, Game 1 is going to kick off tonight in Toronto. Let's take a look at the setup here. Raptors favored by 1.5, so even gaining even a little bit more momentum. It'll be interesting to see, Teddy, where this game line ends up closer to tip. Total of 213.5. That has also come down a little bit. Moneyline split plus 107, minus 127. It's going to take place tonight at 9 p.m. on ABC. Some interesting information coming out as we see the Warriors minus 305, Teddy, to win the series, but yet underdogs, as we said in Game 1. Durant is listed as out for Game 1 and also doubtful for Game 2. But we did have an update here just a few moments ago, Teddy. DeMarcus Cousins now listed as active and ready to go tonight. Raptors plus 235 to win the series. Anunoby is actually upgraded to questionable. He has missed the entire playoff run. Should be fun to watch. We haven't had basketball in a while. I'm looking forward to the game tonight, Teddy. What's it look like?
Yeah, me too. It's been an endless layoff, but I mean, that's the way the NBA playoffs works. And certainly when it comes to TV schedules and all of that, they have to plan this stuff out well ahead of time. So you can't just say, all right, conference finals ended, let's start the finals tomorrow. Just doesn't work that way. All that being said, this is a fascinating game. It really is. And when you look at the history, the home teams do pretty darn well in Game 1. Go back to the 90s. Go back to the Bulls and the Sonics back in 1996. Home teams 20-3 straight up, 16-7 against the spread in Game 1 of the finals. They've been pretty darn good in this role. The last road team to win a Game 1, well, that was Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs doing it in Miami. I believe it was 2013 or 2014. It's been a while since the road team won the Game 1. Now, the prevailing thought process here in Vegas is Warriors are clearly the better squad. But if Toronto's going to win a game, Game 1 might well be that contest. And obviously, as you see with the long-term trends, Game 1s tend to be good. We have the Warriors off a long layoff, but boy, you look at Golden State's. I went back and looked at Golden State's track record with long layoffs in the postseason. I went back this entire championship run, and it's been a non-factor. If the Warriors are going to lose tonight, I don't think the layoff is what is going to be the issue. The issue might well be the matchups. And it's a Raptors team that, they've had their share of Game 1 problems in the postseason in years past. This year, they started out with a Game 1 loss. Since then, looked pretty good in Game 1. And the home court's been very strong for Toronto. They lost a Game 1 against Orlando in the first round. They lost Game 2 against Philly in the second round. That's it. Every other game has been a win and cover for the Raptors in this building. We know the class of Golden State. And I firmly believe that, I have friends telling me, wise guys talking to me here in Vegas saying, oh, the Raptors are live to win. I think the Raptors are live to give them a series. I'm not convinced the Raptors are live to win the series. Can fully understand why Golden State is $3 chalk, even though Game 1, not going to be an easy task for the Warriors. Don't be surprised if Toronto makes the series the series is a lot more interesting if the Raptors win Game 1 than if the Warriors win Game 1. I wouldn't be shocked if Toronto makes it an interesting series from the get-go.
Yep, they'll get it on tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time, as we said. Teddy, two teams are going to play tonight. One team is 37-17, the other is 34-19. And no, it's not the Yankees versus the Astros. It's the Twins and the Rays as the first-place Twins head down to the Trop. The Rays favored minus 140 with a total of 8, 7 o'clock, first pitch. So maybe this game gets in before we can enjoy that NBA Finals game.
Yeah, maybe. The Rays coming off extra innings yesterday. The Twins had the day off. So from a freshness factor, advantage Minnesota. Boy, I like Martin Perez. He doesn't have a good track record against Tampa. 0-3 with a 6.57 ERA. Faced him twice last year, got lit up in those starts. But he looks like a different pitcher this year. 7 runs allowed his last 6 starts. And you talked about those ridiculous records. That's 7 runs allowed his last 6 starts. You talk about that ridiculous record for Minnesota. Remember, Minnesota hasn't been priced like an elite team for extended stretches, and that goes into this game as well. All that being said, Charlie Morton's money, man. Last 18 starts, he hasn't lost. Dating back to last year, he's been solid all year long, although he doesn't have necessarily a great track record against Minnesota. But, I feel in some ways like Tampa has faced a tougher slate than Minnesota has so far. The Twins have done a lot of beating up on the weak, and you can do that in the AL Central. When you're facing an AL East team on the road, no, that's a little bit of a step up in class. I'm not convinced Perez and the Twins are going to be able to handle that step up in class tonight.
Yeah, Perez reinventing himself this year. We'll see if he continues tonight. How about this, Teddy? Sleepless in Seattle? Nope. It's not the 1993 movie with Tom Hanks. It's a baseball matchup in the AL West tonight, and that's the Angels and the Mariners. Mariners favored by -111, a total of 9. Angels coming into the game, Teddy, 26-29. The Mariners, 24-34. It's going to be Pena versus Kikuchi, but one thing to keep an eye on, Mike Trout did sit out yesterday because he did have the inflammation in his foot from fouling off a pitch. We'll see if he gets back in the lineup tonight, but for your late night viewing pleasure, maybe another game you can add on tonight.
Yeah, and of course, Trout right now is officially listed as questionable. Brad Osmus says, quote, I don't expect him to be out more than a day, but you never know. Obviously, he missed yesterday. He stayed in the game and actually drew a walk in the 9th inning that sparked LA's rally in that contest. He went through electronic stimulation treatments at his locker yesterday, and the x-ray, obviously, no fracture. His quote, I expected it to be sore. It was throbbing pretty good. I woke up and it was really sore. We'll see if he plays tonight. Obviously, Trout being in or out of the lineup, I don't think there's a position player in Major League Baseball that has a bigger impact on the betting line than Mike Trout does when he's in or out for LA. So be aware, if this line starts moving in a hurry, it's based on Mike Trout info. I can't make any case for Seattle. You know, this is a bad team. Remember that 13-2 start? Yep. That was a long, long time ago. They're 2-11 their last 13. They lost on Wednesday to Texas. They're without J.P. Crawford. Their starting shortstop just got hurt. He sprained his left ankle. Although the guy who replaced him, Tim Beckham, came and hit a 2-run bomb yesterday. Didn't matter. And it's worth noting Kikuchi, who's been pretty good for Seattle. Well, this is now second look time for him. His second look against Oakland wasn't pretty in his last start. Pitched well against the Angels the first meeting. We'll see if a second look for L.A. And actually, the Angels hit him pretty good in that first. They got 10 hits off him in 5 innings in the first meeting. I wouldn't be surprised if the second look for L.A. against Kikuchi is every bit as solid for the batters as the first look was, if not more.